I'm just winging this right off the rip here. Let's see. This looks like everything is working. So I'm going to be starting my own SEO channel, if you will, and I've been told I definitely have what it takes to do this. And well, yeah, quite frankly, I'm very into authenticity, which is why I'm just letting it rip, just like this. Whatever comes out of my mouth is going to come out of my mouth, and that's the way I will generally run my channel. Um, I always said that I would prefer to fail while remaining authentic than to succeed because I learned how to act like a professional. I'm not an actor, so I don't care to do any acting. I only care to remain authentic and true to who I am and bring that to the world. And if that's not good enough for the world, well, then whatever, it is what it is. And so I definitely want to put myself out there because I love talking shop. Search engine optimization, especially, is a chess game, and I think it's the world's greatest chess game. I'm a chess player, of course, too, but um, man, I mean, when you're doing SEO right, anyways, I think a lot of people are still stuck in the 90s with SEO. They think title tags and, meta descriptions and things like that. And that's, that's about it. And keywords. My God, what a primitive understanding of SEO. SEO is meant to be a symphony. Well, when it's really done right, and if you really expect to see results, you literally have to be like a orchestra composer and conductor, right? And there's a lot of moving pieces. The more moving pieces you have in any given SEO campaign, the stronger that SEO campaign will be. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is that SEO also integrates into PPA. I'm sorry, PPA. I'm thinking schema markup here already. PPC. Um, Generally, people don't make a correlation between PPC and SEO. Well, I'm here to tell you there is a correlation between the two. There's nothing like writing a 10x piece of content, 10x industry term for you, and as soon as you post it, there's nothing like running a PPC campaign to pump traffic to it. Especially, my favorite is Facebook. You're talking about PPCs that are in the pennies. So why not take advantage of your clients' social media channels, and especially for this particular example, Facebook channel, and write your little ad copy or your copy. Maybe it's not meant to be like an advertisement, just whatever kind of copy you want there. Typically, Facebook PPC, there's long form ad copies and short. I prefer short usually, and so, but the important part is that you place the content's link in your advertisement, right? And so now you're going to be pumping a lot of social media traffic to that new piece of content that you have on your website. This is going to do a lot of different things for you. This is going to, immediately get Google there. They're immediately going to go have a look at your post. I see that question asked all the time. It's like, how do I get my stuff indexed? Like right away. I want to get this indexed right away. And I mean, that is a mistake in understanding right off the rip there. There are very few instances where you should be in a hurry, really, to get something indexed. If you're doing SEO right, it needs to look more like a parade of things constantly being indexed every day, almost, ideally every day. I mean, you can't always generate that kind of activity for your client, but ideally, you want there to be a parade of things Google is indexing every single day. And so it always baffles me when I hear an SEO like freaking out. They're like, "Oh man, I want to get this indexed right away," and it's like, why? You know, like, don't you have 5 other things getting indexed today, probably? And if you don't, you're probably not doing it right. But this is a trick that will get it indexed quickly. But it's not meant for that. It's simply meant to hammer in to the internet, if you will, Google's index, the new content and get it off to a great start. Furthermore, the social signals that will happen from it. You know, you have that post that's being put on people's news feed, and if somebody shares it, now you have a social signal, which is a share that is dinging your content on the site. That's just, you know, one instance. And then let's say if somebody from that post that the person shared, it's no longer PPC at this point. It's just a post that somebody shared. Now you have social signals coming from that that are truly raw, and they're not related to PPC at this point. So I believe this year the like is gone away. I think now it's becoming follows is what they're looking at, and likes aren't that big of a deal. I think they've changed that recently with Facebook, but the point is that you end up getting a lot of social signals sent to your post this way, and it's generated by PPC. So there is a correlation, and this is one of the things that I think makes my experience pretty rare, is that a lot of SEOs have come up as SEOs. They probably have worked at an agency for a while, whatever, doing grunt work and climb the ladder, but they typically only wear that hat. And you know, also the obscurity of SEO, or the lack of tangible, factual uh, context or facts. I mean, much of our industry is theory, right? And there's techniques and methods and concepts for which we have a lot of validation. There's a lot of case studies that, you know, as our industry reverse engineers, um, you know, what Google's doing, you know, currently, we discover things, and, you know, the industry leaders, Ahref, Smoz, Majestic, you know, SEM Rush, all these guys, they come in and they start doing all these case studies and stuff. And then there's also lots of independent agencies that end up doing their case studies and verifying this. But you cannot take away the fact that there's so much subjective experience when it comes to SEO, and the lack of very tangible, hands-on kind of, like being a web dev or a web designer, right? You have a very tangible product that you are going to deliver to the client. And that is one of the greatest struggles, I think, in our industry is how do you get clients to understand all this, and understand this isn't like 1 + 1 = 2. By Wednesday, you're gonna, you know, have a 10% increase in your margin. Not so much. Yes, the better you are at this, the closer you can come to actually predicting everything that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, again, it's not like being a web dev or a designer, which, by the way, those are two very different things. I myself, I'm more of a web designer. I would not dare to call myself a web dev. Very comfortable in public HTML and writing all kinds of code, but I am by no means a web dev. I'm a designer by nature. That's actually my first hat. I went to an art school and graduated with a degree in visual arts. And so this is the unique perspective I have on SEO. Number one, I'm self-made, you know, and I had done this 7 years ago. I simply decided I was going to start a media company, and all I knew how to do was Photoshop. I worked at a shady magazine that ripped people off. They did golf ads, and these ads never, they didn't actually send these magazines to the clubhouses. They only sent the magazines to as many people that bought a spot in the magazine. A little sore spot in my history there, but whatever. I was having fun doing my graphic design, being an artist, and I wasn't the salesman. I was just building these ads and whatever. I didn't actually know that at first either, but I did become aware of it, and I stuck around for a little while longer than probably I should have, morally speaking, but I really didn't like that at all. I'm definitely, when it comes to my practices and work ethic, when a client chooses you, that is something that is truly an honor. And you need to understand that here's somebody trusting you with their means to put food on their table for their family. And that's a big deal, man, that they would choose you, right? And I don't know, it is for me, and it always will be. And I always return that in just gratitude based action, right? And you know, you don't get, in my proposal, whatever, I may propose 20 production hours or whatever, but that does not mean when I get to 20 production hours, I'm done. If the value has not been delivered within 20 production hours, guess what? I got to keep going until the value is there, until it's actually realized for the client. And and so I guess I'm just, kind of opening up this channel with this very raw, very authentic, quite scruffy, as you can see. It's lovely being a freelancer and having, your own agency and being able to work from home and whatever. Um, but yeah, and that's the other thing too. I think what's kept me away from doing this is fear of what other people think of me. And something has happened in my life recently where that I have realized that I live my life dominated by that fear, and I'm done with it. I'm sick of it. I just don't care anymore. And that's why I'm doing this now, finally. Um, I feel like I have something to offer the world that is authentic and unique, and have proven myself, over and over again. At this point, I have all the validation I need, and it's not that external validation is what gets you there either. You just got to get to a point where you yourself start to believe in yourself, and so that's when you start taking those actions like I'm doing right now, and you go into an upward spiral of success. And so this is just another tangible, proactive way in which I am creating my reality, right? I want to remain authentic in life. I want to be known as who I am, not because I've learned how to act like a professional. I'm a maverick. I got to tell you, I'm very eccentric, very neurotic. I am also hypersensitive and hypervigilant and all these different labels and yada yada. But guess what? It's a double-edged sword. I'm very gifted as well, and you don't get those gifts without those liabilities, if you will. And this is, one way in which you learn how to love who you are and become willing to remain authentic and bring it to the world, and not fear what anybody's going to think, because oh my god, the digital divide, nothing like the digital divide to bring out the worst in people. you know Cowards, right? they're they're somewhere in the world unknown, so they can mouth off and say whatever they want. There's no consequence really. So I've always had great difficulties with that because I'm very forthright also with things I say, and I'm often misunderstood and misinterpreted and all this different stuff. Yeah, but who cares at this point? That's what I'm talking about. I'm done with those fears. What you see is what you get with me, and that's what this channel will be all about: is search engine optimization, tricks, tips, and methods, and um, just generating content so that I can engage the SEO community and talk shop, because I love talking shop. Um, I love talking theory, especially real far out theory, and getting involved with schema markup and capturing low-hanging fruit, and how yeah, I can go deep into NLP and semantics and all this different stuff and theorize on why Google's CWV has become such an issue. Is, if you ask me, it's because they want to save on their crawl budget. So they're going to make us clean the internet up for them. The disavow tool, right? It used to be a big deal. It used to be a big deal 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And then for a while there, it lost its importance because Google started ignoring a lot of stuff, site-wide links, image scraper bot links, just general content creation, bot links. Google ignored a lot of that BS, but things have changed, and part of CWV is that they want us to clean the internet up because they're done ignoring garbage, and that's really all. That's and it is their business to deliver best results for their users. Okay, fine, but really, can you imagine how much money they're going to save because of all this that they're doing? Um, Now with that massive push, their crawl budget is going to decrease a lot. They're going to save billions of dollars. But that's what I'm talking about. This is all just theory and whatever. But I like talk shop and like talking about deep theory like that and stuff. And so I'm always going to bring that to the plate here on this channel. And that's my intro. I'm just going to let it rip and put it up there. I'm going to upload this right now, and that's that. This is our first installation on this journey. I hope you hang out with me a lot. Thank you.